What else you guys wanna know?
We, I think, are going to see some more activity on the North Cherry development.
Maybe. They're still going through sampling for gravel and everything else to make sure that they're building an adequate base before they go up, so, I know that they're trying to get stuff lined out, but it's kind of back and forth of making sure the base is done right, so, yeah.
Thank you. Carrie?
Yeah, I have a bank reconciliation report after 4 months of submitting these. We are under $100.
Yay!
I think that's what's over here. Nope.
That's all right.
So I just wanted to share that we've been submitting these every month per our auditor, and we are finally down under $100 difference. So out of over $6 million, I think that's good.
The reconciliations have been submitted to the local government services unit within the State Department of Administration. And as you recall, this was one of the audit recommendations from the last year. So that council's decision or authorization to work with the League of Cities and Towns is paying off. Carrie and Jenny have both learned a lot more about that particular module and piece of the city's accounting system, and I am excited about that.
Yeah, maybe next month it'll be 0.
Good job, Carrie.
Thank you.
Tell Diane and Jenny the same, please.
Fire department?
Start on a good note here. Mason, our new guy, shows that he's a go-getter again. He took our city engine up to the rodeo on Sunday and raised $410 for the family that lost their child up on the flats. So that'll be getting transferred over there. He spent 3 hours up there doing that. He got the county will be receiving a donation. We ended up cutting somebody's door to get somebody out of a room, and he stayed behind and replaced that door. So he's showing that he's a go-getter. He'll do anything that needs to be done. We did the POW Ride to Remember. We sat up here and helped block streets and whatnot. That went great. I'd like to get a copy of the for traffic control, for the permitting for the parades and whatnot. I'd like to add some stuff in there that when people are doing parades that we do not that they hand out a flyer that says we don't hand out anything that pops, bangs, anything like that. The rodeo parade, we had some kids use some of those fireworks that you throw and they pop. They intentionally threw them right in front of the horses.
Oh.
That's not good.
That's a big safety thing right there. We handled it between the parade coordinator and myself. We took care of it. But that's the big issue. You can't have that. And they knew what they were doing because they did it 2 times. So I'd like to put something in there that says nothing that pops, bangs. I mean, it's common sense, but I'd like to put that in there. And then apparently it's just been an understanding that we block the streets. So we need to make sure that that's in there and have contact numbers for myself and Andrew the rodeo parade, the side streets were blocked, and it was almost noon, and we still had traffic flowing up and down Main Street. And when I asked one of them, they said, well, the fire department does that. They've always done that. So,
But you're never contacted.
so,
It's just a
Maybe, doesn't it state in there that they're required to
It does.
contact the fire
It
department?
does state, yeah, the responsibility in the ordinance is on the host.
yeah, I figured it did. I just like to get a copy so I could kind of look it over and
We'll see
maybe
if we
put
can get it on thick paper, so you
Yeah.
can pull it up and hit them on the
put
nose.
something with the fire department page in there that, you know, an add-on there that says these are the people you contact, and that way we can keep people as safe as possible.
We will double check all of the materials that we ask people to sign off on and make sure that that's in there, because I cannot guarantee that is in there. In the ordinance yet, yes, might
Yeah.
not have translated into the
Kind of the
application
application.
forms,
It should be an easy update though.
yeah.
And I'd like to put in there that when we just have one designated parade route, so that way we kind of know what's happening. You know, we just have one designated highlighted route mapped in there. I'm not sure if there is now, but there's always some confusion on where the parade route's going, how they're turning around. And I get the rodeo parade's usually big, it's long, so we need that bigger stretch around those blocks to get everybody looped back around. The 4th of July parade, it was big too. And that's one that I would like to see having a 1 foot or a 1 block buffer between those areas. We shut off Main Street, but the parade starts on North and South Pine and goes that way. So that's a good buffer. When we shut down the streets, or when whoever shut down the streets for the 4th of July fireworks show, they shut down right to Cedar. And believe it or not, we had people coming down Main Street, and we had somebody drive right past Andrew and around a barricade and almost ran people over trying to turn around. So I'd like to see, if we're gonna shut Main Street down partially, we just shut it the whole way. I get it, we only have 1 barricade for each street, so people drive around them anyway. I don't know how to curb that. I really don't, besides more barricades. That's the only thing that'll stop it.
From an ordinance perspective, that one's a little more complicated.
Or at
For
least,
fundraiser for more barricades would make a lot of sense.
if we could go, if they shut the street down in South Cedar, if we could go 1 more block that's just empty space, it gives that.
What kind of worries me though is that you go 1 more block, people start putting up their chairs, using that as the example, 1 more block back, and you have exactly the same problem,
Yeah.
because the real problem is the people driving around the barricades.
Yeah, it's, every time we do a parade, my mind's always going on how we can improve the safety for everybody, without causing a lot more work to it, so.
The tire strips?
The tire strips would work.
Cancel those parades.
That was nice.
That's a great way to make sure none of us get reelected.
Honest, I won't get reelected either.
Well, I've had a few people say, man, you guys have a lot of parades. We do, we like our community, and we like showing it, and we don't mind helping, but we just need to know in advance. Before, we had a lot of guys that were retired, they were in their 70s, so they blocked the streets. Well, a lot of our people now have families and whatnot, so they're off doing things, which leaves us kind of short-handed too. So we also need to have that in there that states if we have an emergency, we gotta go. So we need the barricades, especially on the ends, so we can go. That way we know that there's at least something there after our truck leaves. But we love helping out, we love being a part of the parades, and we'll continue to do that just as long as we have some notification ahead of time.
Yes, there was, breakdown in the communications this year. Thank you for the help. And we'll take a look at the application materials and, clarify that, make sure it's in there, put it in a separate place perhaps, and go from there. As to the side street barricades, short of parking vehicles with the barricade in between them, and then you can't get through at all, so we don't wanna do that either.
Yeah, the 1 year we toyed around with using our fire line tape, the yellow rolls that we have, and then just going down and just tying it off and tying it off, so that way if we have an emergency, you can just tear that off and away you go. It's easy, it's simpler, it's a way to go, and, you know, we definitely understand how communication breaks down, it happens, and so that's why as soon as I found out, it was an instant. I got a hold of Ed, who was standing in the crowd, and said, "I'm gonna grab a truck, I'm gonna grab one, and run down to the other end." So, we got it, no incident happened. Everybody was safe, nobody got bucked off a horse or anything like that, so we're good there. I toyed around with the idea of, when it was hot out, I had a few calls of people burning piles out in their front yards. I had a letter and I was getting ready to send it out saying that we're not burning in the city limits. If it's in your little fire ring, that's one thing, but the way it was hot and dry there, I would highly recommend not even doing that. But then we got a bunch of rain, but I've gotten 4 calls now of people burning brush in their yard, or getting a burn permit. And I don't think that's a good idea to have a burn permit in the city limits.
I will double check, but I do not believe open burning is allowed, period, under current ordinances. Eric?
It is.
It is?
It is. It is, so I mean, I understand the gumption and going for it, but you can